What is up, my good people? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, then it's just welcome to my channel, girl. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button because you will not be disappointed unless you're a hater, because you know there's some people out there who don't even eat pizza. But that doesn't mean pizza ain't great, okay? It just means not everybody has good taste, and that's perfectly fine, sis. We can't all have good taste. Some of us have to have not so good taste for balance. Before we get started, I just want to address how y'all wore me out in the last video for saying new leash on life instead of new lease on life. This is the thing. I say them interchangeably. More often than not, though, I do say leash. And this is the thing. Hear me out. When you have a leash on something, don't you have control on it? When you have a leash on something, don't you have control over it? Like new leash on life. You got life by the horns. Y'all not gonna let me have it like that. Don't make sense. I don't care. Y'all tried it. That was cute. But I'm gonna let y'all slide or whatever because y'all my girls. I'm really running behind schedule. That's not good. So let me just get into the story. Late 90s, early 2000s, Nikki Ansley is growing up in Rusk, Texas. And Rusk is a really small town, about 150 miles from Houston, Texas. Shout out to my Houston natives. I'll be in Beyonce land soon. Rusk is one of those really small, country, intimate towns where pretty much everybody knows everybody. And Nikki being a star on the softball team, this really boosted her popularity. Like a lot of people really was familiar with her. Her bright personality really helped to add to her popularity. A lot of people really liked her. Sis was very much likable. Upon graduating high school, she decides that she's going to enter cosmetology school. Nikki also becomes engaged to her high school sweetheart, and they're very much excited about the future and the direction that their life is headed in. In an effort to earn money for the life that she is now building with her fiance, Nikki applies for a job as a clerk at one of the local convenience stores. This is an extremely exciting time for her. She is now 19, the year is 2002, and she is out here, being grown, starting her life. Unfortunately, though, not everybody is excited for Nikki and her new job opportunity. Nikki's parents are completely against her working in a convenience store. They felt like it was a dangerous job, period, and especially for a young, pretty girl like herself. Regardless of how intimate the town was and how pretty much everybody in the neighborhood kind of felt like family, they were completely uncomfortable with it. Nikki is no fool. She gets it. She sees how this job can be seen as a dangerous one. Unlike her parents, though, the vibe of the town did provide Nikki with a level of comfort that she needed to feel like, it's probably not gonna be all that bad. Nikki felt like that did matter, and it would make the difference in whether or not this was a dangerous job. She felt like her parents were just being paranoid. She really wanted this job, and luckily for her, one of her friends that attended church with her worked there, and so her friend is able to put in a good word for her and help her secure the job, which was also a plus for her, the fact that she would be working with a friend of hers. Like, you know how it is when you and your friend, you and your homegirl work together. It's fun. A lot of times. On the evening of Saturday, September 2nd, 2002, Nikki is at work with her friend Lindsay. This is only her third day on the job, so she's still in training, but she's liking it so far. Like, things are going well. One of the locals, a guy by the name of Kenneth frequently came by, hung out with the girls at the store on the nights that they worked, just hang out with them, crack jokes, make the time go by fast. It was just something to do. It really made their nights feel shorter and less boring. A little bit about Kenneth. He had previously been involved in an accident that quote unquote set him back mentally, but for the most part he was a pretty average, cool guy. The girls really enjoyed his company and he seemed pretty harmless. The girls were always happy to have Kenneth at the store. This night is no different. It was just the three of them at the store. At around 10 p.m., they began to clean up so they can prepare to close. Lindsay had gone to the back to put some things away. Kenneth had also gone to the back of the store, leaving Nikki at the front by herself. All of a sudden, two masked men dressed in all black come barging into the store. Armed with a shotgun, they immediately began demanding money. Mind you, this is Nikki's third night on the job and she's a little bit taken aback. Like, she's in complete shock. Like, is this really happening right now? Is this part of the training, child? Please say we about to go over the procedure when you got a gun to your head. Like, I just want to know.
What's the procedure when you're being robbed?
She's frightened, so she doesn't move right away. She's just standing there in a state of shock. She looks over into the direction of where Lindsay and Kenneth were, and this immediately signals to the two guys that she is not alone in the store. which they initially thought that she was. The guys are obviously thrown off by this. They did not expect anybody else but maybe a clerk and no customers inside the store this close to closing time. They're visibly taken aback, but at this point, there was no turning around for them. They felt like, we here now. The one that is armed, he immediately goes toward the direction of the store and forces those two up front. Again, they're demanding the money, and so Lindsay is the one who begins to empty the register. Lindsay is working to quickly empty the drawer so they can just take the money and go. Then they demand the keys to the Cadillac out front. The Cadillac is actually Lindsay's car. They're actually somewhat relieved at this point when they demand the keys to Lindsay's car, because they're thinking that, okay, this is almost over. Like, yes, terrible, they're about to take Lindsay's Cadillac, but at the very least, this signifies to us that they're about to leave, and this will soon be over. Unfortunately, though, that was not the plan. Not exactly. You see, when they get the keys to the car, they don't just leave. They actually demand that the three of them get in the car along with them. And at this point, the three of them are all terrified, but it's like, what else do we do? They have a whole shotgun. Like, we really don't have a choice. Kenneth and Lindsay, they get in the back of the car with one of the men, and then Nikki is forced to get in the front with the other guy. As soon as they take off, the guy in the front seat, he begins talking to Nikki about things very familiar to her. Softball, high school, her fiance. And she's like, hold up. Does this know me? Is he from around here? When he realizes that she had not already recognized him, he takes off his face mask and he's just like, it's me. Immediately, when he reveals his face and she looks over at him and realizes how she knows him, her heart sinks. She just knows at this point that tonight will more than likely be her last. Not more than likely, that tonight will be her last. You see, Buenka, that's his name, Buenka. Buenka is a friend of her fiance. They had actually gone to high school together. He was from the town and they had grown up together, the fiance and Buenka. Although she was with her fiance several times when they had run into each other and, had a little chat, a little powwow, she never really had a relationship with Buenka. She never was close with him. She was never close with him or any of the things. Like, they had no dealings. They were just familiar with each other. Now, although she did not know him personally, she was very familiar with his reputation around town as a troublemaker. He had been in trouble with the law several times for like burglary, breaking and entering, things of that nature, but nothing ever violent. And although she herself didn't have a close relationship with him, she still was shocked at the fact that he would take her and kidnap her like this, having been friendly with her fiance. Buenka continues to have a conversation with her as if they're old friends, and she immediately begins to cry because she is also realizing that if he's revealed his face to me, there's no way he has a plan of letting me go. And then Nikki decides, you know what? I'm not just going to give in that easily. Like, I'm at least attempt to save my life here. And so she dries up her tears and she asks him, so what's the plan? Like, where are we going? He is not trying to answer that question at all. He pretty much just tells Nikki that she'll see when they get there. You'll know the plan as it unfolds. Nikki then tells him that she's only really asking so that she knows what she's expected to do. She's more than willing to participate. They all are, in an effort to make sure nobody gets hurt. But they would just want to know, like, what is it that you want us to do? Still, he does not provide her an answer, and he just continues to drive. After driving for about an hour, he pulls the car off the road into this pea patch, which is a field where they grow like peas and beans. And it's really, really tall grass. It's probably not called grass, but whatever. You know what I mean. I'm trying to paint a visual here. Buenka and Richard both get out of the car, and then they force the other three out as well. And they tell them that they have plans to meet a separate group of their friends here to pass the money off that they had taken from the store. And while this exchange is going on, they will need to put the three of them inside the trunk. Common sense should tell you that three grown people cannot fit in a trunk, which was the case. They're like, sir, all of us can't get in here. We're going to need a plan B. When they realize that this is in fact the case, they know the three of them are not going to be able to get inside the trunk. They come up with the plan to take Nikki with them to meet up with these other friends and then put Kenneth and Lindsay inside the trunk until they get back. So this is what they do. And Lindsay honestly is a little happy about this. I mean, as happy as she can be considering the circumstances. But she felt more comfortable being able to see them versus being inside of a trunk and not know what was going on the outside. Once Kenneth and Lindsay are inside the trunk, Nikki and the two assailants, they begin to walk in the opposite direction of the car. And about 25 feet away from the car, the two of them stop. And Buenka puts his hand on her shoulder. He is caressing her shoulder with his ashy little hand. And she's uncomfortable. She's like, what's going on here? And he tells her that he wants to engage in some sexual activities before they go any further. With Richard standing there pointing the rifle at her, she's pretty much left without a choice at this point. And so she does not put up a fight. She lays down, closes her eyes, and she's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep my eyes closed until this is all over. And when it is all over and she gets up to fix her clothes, she realizes that Richard is no longer there. She doesn't see him anywhere. So she immediately becomes concerned. She asks Buenka where his friend is, and he's just like, oh, he must have gone back to the car. And of course, this frightens her because her friends are in the car, and it's no telling what he is doing. He has the weapon, and he obviously is not dealing with a full deck of cards. The two of them head back toward the car. They open the trunk, and her friends are still inside, both Lindsay and Kenneth, completely unharmed. And then Richard comes walking back up to join the group. They don't know where their girl was. I don't know if she went to take a shit in the woods or what. But Richard comes back. He and Buenka, they talk for a second, not where, the group can hear them. So Lindsay, Kenneth, and Nikki, they have no idea what's being discussed. At this point, they have allowed them to get out of the trunk to stretch their legs and get some air. But then they tell them that it's been a change of plans and that they can get their little air right now, but in a couple of moments, they would need to get back into the trunk. At this point, Lindsay has a full-on panic attack. She does not want to have to get back in that trunk. She just feels like she cannot do it again. And Sis is beginning to freak out. She motions as if she's about to make a run for it. And at that point, Richard aims at her. And Nikki, she makes an attempt to calm her friend down. Like she goes, stands between Richard and Lindsay. And she's just talking to Lindsay like, look, I know this is messed up, but you just got to hold it together. We're going to get through this. Meanwhile, Buenka and Richard are having another sidebar conversation while Nikki is calming Lindsay down. Buenka then announces that there's been another change of plans, and instead of putting them in the trunk now, they've decided to just tie them up. He's still thinking of ways to try to outsmart the two guys, because apparently it didn't appear to be that difficult of a task. They want to tie the friends up with rope, but Nikki is like, you don't even need rope. You can just use our shirts. Tie us up with our shirts. Now, her reasoning for this is that if the guys use rope, the rope will be a hell of a lot more difficult to work from around her wrists after they had left them than t-shirts would be. To her surprise, they actually go with that. They are like, okay, yeah, we can just use the shirts. Great idea. And so she's happy about it, but of course she can't, jump for joy or show that. She's just thinking of what their next move will be. Like once they get abandoned, they'll be able to quickly, easily work the t-shirts from around their wrist and then go for help. Once they get the three of them tied up, they announce what the plan of action will be. Their plan now is to take Kenneth with them, and they'll allow him to return later to untie the girls and, free them. And that this will allow them enough time to, flee and go as far as they're trying to go to get away, keep from getting caught. They force Lindsay and Nikki on their knees, backs facing them, and they're just like, just sit here and wait. Kenneth will be back eventually. They walk off with Kenneth, but moments later they return with Kenneth and they force him too to get down on his knees next to the girls in the same position. Now, although this is very, very odd, they're still feeling confident like this is about to be over. They'll just have to figure it out after the fact. So they're still feeling kind of confident in that. They're just like, we just have to endure. Like, it'll be over soon. But all of a sudden, they hear the sound of a shotgun being cocked. At this moment, Nikki's heart sinks. Her mind begins to race. She is terrified, realizing that abandoning them there was really not the plan at all. Like they had just lied. Either that, or when they walked off with Kenneth, they realized that it probably wouldn't be the best idea to let them go, and so they had a change of heart. Regardless of which it was, things were not looking good for the group. Lindsay and Nikki immediately began reciting the Lord's Prayer. They are praying over and over, really, really loud. The guys have the reaction that the devil would if you flick holy water into his face, child. They are demanding that they stop. They are very much agitated by this whole thing. They're telling them to shut up, but The girls don't listen. They continue to pray. And they get louder and louder until they hear a shot fired. The shot does not hit anyone. It is just a warning shot. When they realize this, they go back into prayer immediately. I feel them though, because if you're about to get me up out of here, baby, I need to call up to heaven to make sure my room is reserved. Okay? Once again, they are praying and they get louder and louder. And then they hear a second shot. Only this time, it wasn't a warning shot at all. Kenneth had actually been hit. He immediately begins to scream. And Richard was the one that had actually fired the shot. But he and Buenka both begin laughing. Now, within moments, the screaming stops. And the two girls are horrified. Of course, they knew that this was a very serious situation. But at this point, things got real for them. And then another shot is fired, this time hitting Nikki. And when this happens, both of the two women who were on the ground really close to each other, they both fall forward, face down. And this kind of confuses the two jerks because they're like, okay, we know we shot Nikki. Like, why are they both down? Neither of the two women are moving at this point. Buenka asked Lindsay if she had been hit. She does not respond. She just lays there. So she definitely did a me, because I would have laid there and pretended like I was hit too. When she does not respond, one of the guys tells her that if she doesn't answer, that she would then be shot in the face just to make sure. And so hearing this, she of course answers and she's just like, no. When she says no, Richard takes the rifle, puts it right near her head, and fires. Dust, dirt, debris flies everywhere. Nikki is laying right next to her friend. She witnesses this. Of course, she is mortified. She's also in a whole lot of pain herself, but she's still laying there, pretending as if she had been fatally injured. So, they can just go. However, they don't just simply go. Buenka walks over to Nikki, grabs her by her hair, lifts her up halfway. Not just her head, like head and shoulders. He's like, are you dead? She does not move. She don't blink her eyes. She just stares and just plays the part. She's holding her breath. He then just lets her go, drops her down on the ground, and she still does not move. She lays in the position in which she falls. He nudges her with his foot a couple of times, and he's literally still asking, like, are you dead? What am I supposed to say? Yes, sir? No? So you can shoot me again? Like, no. I'm gonna do this. He goes from nudging her with his foot to full-blown kicking her. And the kicks just get harder and harder, and yet she's still not having any kind of reaction physically. She's just laying there showing no obvious signs of life and hoping that they just go, like just leave. The two guys kneel down beside her, flick a lighter because it's really dark, so they're really just trying to get a better look. Her eyes are wide open. They're looking at her, trying to see, like, is she breathing? Does she look alive? Quiet as it's kept, sis is looking at them too. But they don't know. They just think that, okay, yeah, she's gone. Let's go. The two of them get into the car, drive off, and leave the three there in the field. At this point, Nikki is just really happy that they have now left. She just needed to muster up the strength to get up and go for help. She already knew that her friends were gone, and that with her injury, she would be too if she did not move quickly. Now, aside from the wound itself, she had a collapsed lung and several broken ribs. She manages to get herself up onto her feet and start walking. Collapses a couple of times, but each time she is able to pick herself back up and continue walking. And finally, she comes upon this house. Immediately, she goes to the front door. She is banging on the door with the last of her little energy. They let her come in. They call for police, and luckily, she makes it to the hospital in time. She lets the police know that she wasn't the only one and where they can go find Lindsay and Kenneth. They immediately go out there to the scene because they're thinking that it might be possible that they could be saved. Let's go see. When they get there, they immediately see Kenneth, who is still there laying in the grass. Unfortunately, it was too late for him, but there is no sign of Lindsay anywhere. Sis is gone. Now, as it turns out, the shot that was fired near her head had actually missed by like an inch. It actually just hit the earth right beneath her, which caused all of the rocks and the dirt to fly up and just all of the things. She too had played dead and just waited for them to leave so she can get up and go get help once she felt like, it was safe enough to do so. Now, I know this is serious, And I don't mean this to be funny. I just have to ask, and I don't mean no harm. Did sis lay there and watch Nikki limp off like, shit, I'm just gonna wait a little while because it might not be safe yet? No shade, and I don't blame her if she did, because I probably would have done the same thing. No, I think I would have tried to whisper though. I would have been like, Nikki, sis. Like, I don't think I just would have let her leave, especially if I knew she was injured and I knew I wasn't. Not trying to say what she did was wrong at all, because you know, first nature is self-preservation. So she is definitely not wrong if that's what she did. I'm just trying to see. Anyway, it only takes police 16 hours to locate and apprehend Miss Buenka and Richard. They actually put out some news footage, and Bianca's own cousin had gave a tip as to where Miss Mamas could be located. Unlike Buenka, Richard had not revealed himself over the course of the night. It wasn't until he was arrested that Lindsay and Nikki learned exactly who he was. Nikki is stunned to find out that he actually was in high school during the time that she was in high school. He was one grade underneath her. She was very much familiar with him. She was actually friends with his older brother, who was in her same class. Buenka and Richard both received death sentences. In court, Richard tried to say that it was Bianca's fault, that he had threatened him into participating, and that he was actually scared to not participate and do what Buenka said. Buenka received his lethal dose in 2012, and then Richard followed suit the next year in 2013. Nikki was in attendance, front row, at both executions for both men. After this ordeal, Nikki did go on to get married and have the life that she just been dreaming of and planning of building, and she has 2 children of her own. And so that's what's up, Miss Mamas. She did struggle to get over this whole thing. It was quite traumatizing. I'm sure anybody would have struggled here. She does have some permanent damage from her injuries, but overall she's made a pretty good recovery. I did not find an update for Lindsay, but I understand Miss Mama's probably just wanted to live out the rest of her life low key, and you can't really blame her for that. Hopefully she is recovered as well, mentally, emotionally, all of the things. Now I just know y'all did not think that I would just forget this last little tidbit of information. Bianca's birthday is December 10th. Megan's sister is Sagittarius. And Richard Cobb's birthday is April 2nd. Sis is an Aries. And that is pretty much the end for the story, but not the video, y'all, because Mama still got some ways to go. And so I'm gonna just talk to y'all. Y'all, I'm so ready to move. Like, I just cannot wait. I have, what, 60 days? A little over 60 days, but whatever. Immediately following my vacation, I have to go to Houston to look at the apartments that I've narrowed down online, and hopefully I like them in person. Hopefully the walls aren't super thin, or it's just like nothing weird going on that I don't like. What I'm not excited about though is the fact that we are driving there, and it's like a 9-hour drive. I have to board Blue while I'm on vacation, and I hate to board him and then have to board him a couple days later. So we driving so he can ride. He can go down to Texas too and get a feel for his new city. You know, Blue liked Beyonce and Nicki Minaj, but he really, really likes Beyonce. And so he's elated, I'm sure, on the inside that we're moving to Beyonce land. Mama Bear is actually also coming along with me because, you know, she don't want to send her baby out into the world by herself. I'm excited because I get to see my older sister who lives there. And then it'll be my mother's actual birthday because her birthday is May 9th. We'll get to see my older sister and take her out for Mother's Day. You know, that sister is the mother of my niece. I just got a message from the lady that I ordered my vacation nails from. I thought they were not going to come in time. The thing is, I ordered these weeks ago, probably a month now. And those were supposed to be my vacation nails. But as I've gotten closer to the trip, I got this little ratchet spirit that just has come upon me, and I want long blinged out nails. That's what I want to give down to the beach. So I ordered these nails, and I was just praying that they come in time for me to take them on the trip next week, but it wasn't looking like it. Sis just emailed me and was like, she's going to ship them on Saturday. I'm just like, oh thank God. I'm gonna write her back and be like, girl, can I cash up you the fee to overnight them, because Mama needs these. You know, I like entertaining you all, but shout out to the people out there who write me and are really, really going through something horrible. And they're just like, watching your videos really makes me feel better. You make me laugh, smile, and forget all of the things that I'm dealing with right now in my personal life that are just horrible. I've never been the type of person who could console somebody in the general sense. I've always been very insecure about the fact that I suck at consoling people how other people can. Like, you know how some people just know what to say, like they just know exactly how to pat you on the back and be like, I don't know what they say, whatever they say. You know, that's not my ministry. Child, I feel bad because I don't know what to say, and now I'm just staring at you while you crying and falling apart, and I'm just like that's literally all I would get when I would try to be deep and say something that consoles you. And it's not like I can think of things that I want to hear when I want to be consoled. I don't like to be consoled. Just leave me alone. So I don't be knowing what to say. But one thing that I could always do, no matter what your situation is, no matter what you're crying about, I can make you laugh. I could add humor and be the comedic relief, and it'd be tasteful. But I always felt like this is a weakness. Like, all I can do is make somebody laugh. You know what? Doing this made me realize that that's not a weakness at all. Like, that literally, that's a gift, honestly. Like, that's a whole talent. To be able to, no matter the situation, make somebody laugh, just turn any situation lighthearted. I don't think that's an easy thing to do for somebody who it just doesn't naturally come to. And I actually started doing that to break my own discomfort, because I'd be sitting there watching you cry and I'm uncomfortable now. So it's like, girl, let's just not do this right now. You're making me uncomfortable. I'm sad. You sad. Let's laugh. Fuck it. And I just came to that realization like within the last probably month. When you guys write me and comment and say that that is what I do for you, like it just warms my little heart. And that's why I will never stop doing this, because I don't care who don't like it. Like, I feel like I have fulfilled my purpose to be able to bring people humor, to brighten people's day, and to, most important than all of that, be an example to people who struggle mentally. You really can make it through that. A lot of people don't believe that they can, and I was one of those people. And so to be an example to somebody that they can break out of their own mental prison or emotional prison, is that's what it feels like. Your own little emotional mental hell. That just means everything to me. And y'all know I'm a punk ass bitch, so let me stop before I cry and mess up this green makeup I like. Y'all know I'm trying to secure Blue father, so I gotta, preserve this face, girl, so I can take some pictures to use as advertisement. So that's what I'm doing, girl. When I get on the gram and I post my little cute pictures, child, I'm advertising for Blue father. You're gonna have a daddy one day. And I'm not gonna forget y'all. We gonna have our twins, and I'm gonna invite y'all to the baby shower. Or hopefully he ain't got a bunch of kids already. No shade. But yeah, I'm excited to be moving. I feel like I'm gonna have a new leash on life. I can't believe y'all wore me out like that still. Like, y'all were not trying to let mother make it. I said, what they don't know is that I keep saying some stuff even after I know I'm not saying it right. Because the thing is, the whole purpose of communication is to effectively communicate one idea to another person. So if you got the idea what I was talking about, my girl, you already know. And I was effective in my communication, and y'all can't tell me nothing different. I learned years ago that Monica's "for you I will," she says, "for you I will fight all." But all my life I thought she said fight a hoe. So I'm still saying that to this day because like it fits better. Amazon just came through. I hope they got my package. Nope. My luggage is not delivered. And so worst case scenario, if it doesn't get here in time, the night before the trip, I'm stopping by everybody's house and dropping off one outfit. Put my outfit in your luggage. Bring it to the trip. Then I'll collect all of my things once we get back. No, but for real, I hope I don't have to go buy luggage, because I went to the stores and the luggage was not cute. It was just not giving what it was supposed to give. And so I ordered online. I want to be cute at the airport, pulling my luggage. My girl, before you leave, don't forget to like my video, share it with a friend or foe. Share it with somebody. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. As always, I appreciate you so much, girl, for spending time with me, girls and guys. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know my life. I look forward to seeing you guys again on Tuesday. Don't forget, for the next 2 weeks, you'll get one video instead of 2 videos a week, because month is going on vacation. So next week, you get Tuesday's video. Then the week after that, you'll get Thursday's video. And then I'll be back into the swing of things with 2 uploads a week. Y'all know I'm going to miss y'all or whatever, but I'll be back. Y'all stay safe out there and enjoy life. And I will see you in the next one. Peace. Oh, oh my God. Oh shit, was that a no? And her bright personality, girl, back up off me. And Nikki also becomes engaged to her heart. Ugh. I was gonna skip the whole high school and the sweet and just say her high school heart. In an effort to gain money, do you gain money or do you earn it, Brittney? That job was a pretty. Just hang out there. Just hang out with it. I'm really winging this. Like, I have no direction in mind, but YOLO. Kenneth had also gone with the direction that Kenny, who is Kenny? I didn't give Kenneth a nickname. The guys are obviously thrown off with him having been, friendly with his fiance. Bianca continues to talk to him. Girl. See, that name is throwing me off. I'm confusing their genders. Because she's also real life. I'm just not gonna give it in. Okay, give it in, girl. I mean, hot Cheetos and drinking coffee. A very dangerous game that I play. At this point, Nikki has, oh no, it wasn't Nikki, it was Lindsay. She's laying right beside, what is beside, girl? What was I even trying to say? Aside? But what is the buh? And Nikki is excited. Well, she probably ain't excited. That's not the word. Who can be excited? She does have some permanent damage. What is that, girl? Ooh, just got all the concealer in my hair. Oh well. Going on, airplane girl. We're gonna have our twins, and I'm gonna invite y'all to the birthday shower. What? As always, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. That is not what I say. Comment down below. Domino.